Show. I hope everyone is having a great start to your week. Listen, am I the only one still recovering from the Oscars last night? Are y'all recovering? Listen, y'all hold up. Black Twitter is so mad because they're playing our Auntie Angela Bassett like right in her face. You can see the confusion all in Auntie's face. Y'all check it out.
Oscar goes to...
Jamie Lee
Listen, some believe, including me, that she was snubbed of the Best Supporting Actresses Award. So with that, cheers to Mrs. Bassett. We celebrate you. To us, you will always be the winner, the legendary Angela Bassett. Come on, y'all, give it up for the queen. Woo! So listen, since we are at the Oscars, I think a lot of people were wondering why the Woman King was not among the nominees. Well, so was Viola Davis. She wanted to know the same thing. It has been rumored that people from the Academy told her to just shut up and sit down. Take a look at this tweet, y'all. Woo! So this is really crazy because what it reminds me of, do y'all remember on Fox News when I think her name was Laura, she told LeBron James to just shut up and dribble? Is this something that's going on? Is this a thing? We don't shut up. We don't just dribble. We don't just shut up and sit down. We are doing what we are purposed to do. So for Woman King, you may not have gotten an Oscar, but we love you. God bless you too. So on behalf of the Sisaundra Show, congratulations to all the nominees and to all the winners. I love Jamie Lee Curtis too. Come on. So everybody, y'all sit back, relax, grab a nice bubbly beverage because it's time to do what? Hey, come on. Let's get it started. Oh, yeah. Whew. Well, I'm going to just take a little load off right now. My first guest, y'all, is an author, a motivational speaker, and former Mrs. Florida American 2020. She is also the International Beauty Queen Elite and Mrs. Queen of the World 2021. Y'all, please help me welcome the queen herself, Mrs. Katrina Spagnoletti. Woo-hoo! Look at you, darling. How are you?
I am great. I am great.
Welcome to the show. We are delighted to have you here.
I am delighted to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So listen, I just want to jump in and say you have 5 children?
I have 3 biological and I have twins. My husband has 2, a boy and a girl.
Really?
They're twins, so yes, I have 5 and 3 grandkids.
What an amazing woman. You do not look like you're a day over 30.
Thank you.
My goodness. So what's it like having a big, happy family? A big, blended, happy family.
I wouldn't say it's happy all the time.
Well, you know this TV. Let's act like it's happy. I'm just kidding. No, it's true. I mean, you have your ups and downs, anything, but the balance in love is always there, right? So you also have a testimony.
I do.
Let's talk about your testimony. You are a survivor.
I am.
Of childhood sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Can you walk us through your experience?
Well, like you said, I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse at the hands of my uncle when I was 5 years old and my stepfather in my teenage years. So there was a lot of chaos in me growing up. I like whenever I speak, I try to start off with this story because I think it's something that is so prevalent for people who have gone through childhood trauma to understand that your past does not define you unless you allow it to.
Correct.
At 15 years old, I didn't understand that I had a voice, and that is one of our most powerful weapons that we possess. Going through childhood sexual abuse with my stepdad, because I do have to stop and say, when I was 5 years old, I thought it was a dream. The mind is so powerful.
Wow.
It is so powerful. It protects you, but that dream was going over and over and over again. But I just didn't believe it because it was someone who was supposed to protect me and love me, but in turn took advantage of me. So as a teenager, my mom, she escaped from my father. He was very abusive towards her. My first memory of my childhood really is my mother crying with 3 children, and
wow.
that is one of the hardest. That is one of the hardest stories to tell. I don't tell it too often because I do get choked up. But she's a very strong woman. She escaped from my biological father, who was not around, and she found this Prince Charming. At least we thought she did. Even I thought she did. He took over, and he was a stepdad to us. Even I would consider him a father because my biological father wasn't around.
Picture, yes.
But eventually, as he groomed me and the family, because that's exactly what they do, is they groom a child, they groom the family to have that trust, to bring that child closer, and just to look like a great person. He was actually the president of the Postal Union, so his fighting for the rights of the employees to be treated great and to be honored, you know. And but he held this little secret of coming into my room and sleeping with me when my mother was at work, and she worked at night, so she worked the graveyard shift. So he took advantage of that practically as much as he possibly could. But at 15 years old, seeing my mother go through what she went through with my biological father, and seeing her so happy, I just couldn't tell what was going on with me, and I didn't understand at 15 years old how to get out of this. I was living a lie. I was living a lie. I was living a life of depression. And so one day I decided the best way to stop all of this is to attempt to take my life. And of course, as you can see, I'm right here. I'm still here.
Won't he do
but
it?
I remember the next day waking up after taking a half a bottle of pills. I woke up. I didn't understand why the universe was putting me through all of this, and I didn't know how to escape. But in that same breath, I had a premonition that I was wearing a red suit, and I was standing in front of an audience, and I was speaking. I didn't know why I was there, what I was speaking about.
Right.
But at that time, I thought I had a purpose. I thought I was going to be famous. I thought I was going to be famous. And it gave me a goal. And that's something that's really important when you go through trauma. You have to have a purpose in life, because if you don't, you sink into depression. So
true.
This picture here, I mean, it tells...
Look at you.
Whenever I see that, I think
beautiful.
September 5th, 2020, as the world was basically stopped, I went into the judge's office, into the judge's room, because that's 50% of our scoring when we were competing for pageants. And I remember wearing this red dress, and my coaches told me, my pageant coaches...
So you brought it into fruition. I love it.
My coaches told me, do not wear that dress. Your personality is too powerful. Red is a power color. You're going to overwhelm the judges. I showed this dress to my husband one day, and his eyes were so wide. And he was like, you've got to wear that dress. So I trusted my husband with everything.
Of course.
I wore the red dress, went into interview, and I heard this voice say, oh my goodness, I love that dress. And that voice was Randy Stone, the founder of the Village People.
Are you serious? YMCA, get out. Now, when you saw him, did you do this?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was trying to win a pageant.
Just messing with you.
But I remember walking in there, and it made me feel so good that I trusted my husband.
Yes.
And I remember the first question that was asked of me. The judge asked me, he's a prominent a plastic surgeon in the Orlando area. He said, if you had your dream job, whether you're working towards it now or you have it now, what would it be? I looked at him and I said, you know what? I'm glad you asked me that question. I just wrote a book entitled What My Mother Never Knew during COVID about how I healed from childhood sexual abuse.
Correct.
The whole interview was about the darkest day of my life. And on September 5th, 2020, I was crowned Mrs. Florida American 2020. Not only was I
wait
crowned,
a minute, you were crowned in 2020. You captured your very first title at 56 years old, right?
56 years old.
At 56 years old. It reminds me of the quote, you are never past your prime.
You're never. Even today, it doesn't matter how old you are. You just have to try.
It's so true.
You try. You step into that arena.
Confidence and courage.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
But I was also the first Black woman to ever be crowned in the history of Mrs. Florida. and the oldest woman at the time.
Oh, congratulations to
I'm
you.
very proud, very
Listen,
proud.
and you're not competing against just people in our age
no.
group, because I'm in the 50s club too. You're competing against like 30-year-olds and
20-some-year-olds.
20s, and she won, y'all.
I won.
She has
I
the crown.
won. Yes, I did.
She has the crown, darling. So what other initiatives were you a part of while you were Mrs. Florida America?
Well, of course, I was able to get on platforms to tell my story, because that was the whole reason for me doing it. At first, I will admit, like a lot of women, you see the glamour, you see the glitz, and that's why you want to initially start. But once you start speaking and once you see the reaction,
it tells the
they're
tale.
like, who is this woman?
Correct. So
and what does she want? What does she need to say?
This brings me to your book cover right here. Can I see this book cover?
Absolutely.
Listen, y'all, this is such a lovely book cover that you look at it and you go, oh my God, she's so beautiful. And then you start reading it and you realize that she's a survivor.
I am.
And you didn't
And
give
there's so
up.
many of us.
There's so many survivors.
so many of us.
And you're advocating for them on your platform with your crown representing so beautifully.
I am.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an honor to have you on the show.
It has been an honor to be here.
Thank you. We're going to take a
so
short break. We'll be right back. Don't y'all go nowhere. Ooh. And welcome back to the Sisaundra Show. I cannot stress to you how important it is to highlight all the amazing Black businesses, not just locally, but around the world. Around here, we call that hashtag Melanin Monday. Thank you. So listen, guess what, everyone? Today we have some furry friends gracing us on the set today. Please welcome the founder and owner of Netta Furry Babies, the one and only Johnetta Wiggins. Hey girl, hey.
Hello.
How are you?
I am fantastic.
Yes, you are. It is a pleasure to have you here today.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having
Look,
me.
and your little furry friends. Now, I heard plural. Is there another friend that's
I
furry?
do have another
Yes?
one.
Okay, so
Mr.
what's
Cotton?
Mr. Cotton. And what is the name of your furry friend here?
This one here is Miss Little Unique.
Little Unique. Hello, Unique. She's so beautiful.
Thank
The
you.
colors, did you do this yourself?
I did.
You are talented
Thank
and
you.
patient.
Yes.
Got a lot of love. So what dogs do you have with you today? We know their names. What kind of dogs are they?
Right here I have my little Yorkie, and then I have my Maltese mix over there.
Maltese mix. Are we going to get to see the Maltese
Yes.
mix? Yes. So what do you think is a good age to get a dog?
8 weeks.
Really? Wow. And then as far as like, so I have children, of course.
Okay.
If my children come to me and say, hey, Mom, I want a dog, what's a good age to get a dog for a child?
I would say it's best to start them with a small dog first, because you don't want to bring a big dog in your home and then they be afraid of it, and then all it does is cause the dog to go into defensive mode, and it's not a good thing.
So you think they need to be around their teens?
Yeah.
A teen. Now, you've been on the news a lot. What's been going on with you all over the place?
Just a lot of new exciting things. First and foremost, it's just a dream come true of being my own boss and having my own business and
Congratulations.
being able to walk in my purpose.
That's everything.
Yes.
So what is your purpose?
My purpose is to be here to show those that look like me that it's never too late to walk in your purpose and to live out your dreams.
I love it. Now, you have one of your dreams, which is your fur baby, in your hand. Could you tell us how long does it take for you to train a fur baby?
I would say it depends on the dog itself, because sometimes I can make a change within a couple of days when that dog comes to me. And then sometimes it could take weeks, months. It is never the same because all dogs are different and you base it off the characteristics and not the breed.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
So you started your business. You now own your own business. How long have you been in business?
5 years.
5 years.
Yes.
So what inspired you to even start the business in the first place? Have you always loved animals?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah.
Since a little girl, my daily routine was school and home with the dogs all day.
Really?
Yes.
And so now that you have your own business, what does a day look like for you when you wake up in the morning?
When I wake up in the morning, of course, she's in my face because she wants to play early in the morning with her toys. And then we're at the shop. And then it's whether I'm grooming, dog training, dog boarding, doggy daycare.
Wow.
Doggy massages. I'm at the shop all day.
Can you show us how you teach them, please?
I mean, are you going to behave yourself today? Do you want to do this? Because I know you're going to go right over there to that toy. You think that's a toy and it's not.
Now, you talk to your dog just like it's a human. She's been talking to this dog all this time like a human being, and I love it. Now, let's see if they are as good as our children.
Do you want to do it? No, you want that over there? You're real adamant about it, huh? It's not a toy. It's not a toy.
All right. Well, let's see what you got. Yeah, I think she might.
Toy.
Hey there. You know what?
I want it.
There you have it, y'all. Listen, we're going to say goodbye. Thank y'all so much for joining us. The dog wants what it wants. Hey, come on. Scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen. We have exclusive content for you right here on the Sisaundra Show. Comcast, Xfinity, and Channel 1623 Roku, baby. Woo, thank you so much. Yes! Hello, everyone. If you are at work, at home, y'all drop everything and tune in because it's time for the Sisaundra Show! Yeah! Listen, I'm just kidding. Don't y'all get fired. Don't drop everything at work. Listen, speaking of fired, y'all